Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Anyone that doesn't know, my name's Lucy and I have a little 9-month-old baby called Avery. And today I'm going to film, I've got a big list, I've got baby must-haves and things that I think are unnecessary if you're having a baby. Obviously this is just my opinion, everybody's different, everybody needs different things when they have a baby. But this is what I think really helped and things that I think didn't help. Avery is playing next to me with her cups. So that's what's so noisy, so I apologise about that. So I'm going to start with my must-haves. So the first thing I've got on my list is a dummy clip. This has been an absolute lifesaver the last couple of months. I only got one recently. I never got one before, I don't really know why, but it's just really good, especially now that she's crawling and getting about. She can find her own dummy and put it in her mouth. I wish I had one when she was a newborn, because obviously they sit in their baby swing and their dummies go under the bum and everything. So it would have been good for me. Not so much for Avery, but for me. What are you doing? Yeah, so that's the first thing I got. I think I got it from Etsy. It was about £8. It wasn't expensive. Obviously, they can't sleep in them. That's a bit of a hazard, but it's good for in the day. Sorry, she's being so noisy. The second thing I got is a sound machine. So we have this one. It was from Amazon. It was around £20. It wasn't expensive, and it just plays white noise. And it has like loads of different noises. So that's really good, and it's also a night light as well. And it does have different colours, but I don't know how you do that. Yeah, sound machine was really good. White noise is great for baby sleep. It's like, obviously babies need routine and it's just like constant noise. So when the white noise machine's on, she knows it's bedtime and that sort of thing. And it also blocks out any other sounds. So if there's anything like noisy, like she won't hear it, like it just blocks everything out. The next thing I have is a baby swing. We have I think it's, what is it? It's Mamaroo or Mums for Us or something. It's like a big swing and you plug it in and it rocks like it's an electronic one. It's really good. They're quite expensive. We got given it, I think they're about £200, but we also had a rocker that she just laid in and it played music and that worked just as well. So you don't necessarily need an expensive one. We had the expensive one, then I got one as well for, I think it cost me like £15, like it wasn't expensive. And you can get them on Amazon, not Amazon, Facebook Marketplace and eBay and everything. So you don't have to pay much for one. But it's just great for, she used to watch baby TV in it. She stopped sitting in it when she was about 6 months old. But it's just great if you want to get something done, you can strap them in, you know they're safe, you don't have to leave them on the floor or whatever. Yeah, so I definitely recommend a swing. I'd also recommend a playmat. We had one from Scandiborn. How much was it? I think it was about £90, but again, you can get really cheap ones. You can get them second hand, or you can actually get them from Argos, and I think they're only about £20. But they're great, and they lay on the mat and they have, what are they? Like sort of like bars over the top, and you can hang toys off. Great for little babies, like you can hang like sensory ribbons and everything off the top, which is great for like sensory time, great for tummy time. Yeah, I definitely recommend a playmat. Next thing I have, obviously, baby monitor. That's really important. You don't need a great one. We have a really good one. I can't remember what brand it is, but you can see her. And so obviously you have the monitor. Hers is like sort of like above her cot. And then we have like the monitor screen, and we can play music to her through it, and we can talk to her through it. So that's great. We don't do any of those things, but it's a very good monitor. I definitely recommend trying to get as best as you can, because it does help. Obviously you can get ones that are really low, like video quality, and they're good obviously if that's what you get, like it's not a problem at all. But I definitely recommend getting like as good as you can get, because it's very great. Like on ours we can see if like she's spat a dummy out or anything. It is really good quality. The next thing I have is a bottle insulator. Bottle, that was a bit common, bottle insulator. We got one on our nappy bag. We had like a Calf Kids and nappy bag, and it came with one. And yeah, it's an insulated bottle bag, so you can put warm or cold bottles in, which is great because it keeps bottles. I think you can warm your bottle up and keep it for an hour. So I thought if I was going anywhere, I'd warm a bottle up first and then just take it with me and it's immediately ready. Or it keeps it cold for 3 hours if you put an ice pack in. So if I was, I don't know what I'd do for 3 hours. Say if you're going for like a big walk or something. Yeah, you could keep it cold for ages, which is great. So I definitely recommend a bottle insulator. Next thing is a nursing pillow. This is great. It really saves your back when you're nursing or when you're giving a bottle. We had one from, ours were from IKEA actually. We've got two, I think they were £7, like that was literally it, and they were good ones. You can obviously get the, I think they're called boppy pillows that are really like firm and good quality. I don't think you'd necessarily need one. You could even use a pillow. You don't necessarily need a nursing pillow, but they're great because they go around your waist and they're like an L sort of shape, but they were a saviour. Next thing I have are sort of together, nipple cream and breast pads for if you're breastfeeding. I can't explain, this is personal, like to me, I can't explain the pain of breastfeeding. So nipple cream definitely helps. And then breast pads, just to stop your leaking milk. They were amazing for me. The amount of times I went to bed and forgot to put a nursing pad on, a breast pad, and I woke up covered in milk. That was great. So yeah, I definitely recommend those two if you're planning on breastfeeding. Suction crockery. This is obviously for when they're older, like 6 months plus sort of age. So it's just like plates and bowls, and they have suction on the bottom, and you suction them down to the high chair. They're great because obviously babies want to pick everything up and throw it. So it just stops her being able to pick it up. We don't really use it at the minute because, well, we do baby-led weaning, so we just sort of shove all of her food on a high chair. She just picks it up. But we'll definitely use it a lot more when she's older, when she starts using like cutlery and that sort of thing. Where am I? Next thing I have is a baby bath. I definitely recommend a baby bath. I think ours cost, it was less than £20. I think it was like £15. She's 9 months old and she still uses it, so she's noisy. We have a sort of one where they're laid down, but they're sort of sat at like this angle. It's the one with like all the holes in. I don't even know if you can hear me, she's being so noisy. Yeah, it's got all like the holes in. I'm sure if you search baby bath, it'd be like the first one that comes up. But we got ours from Argos, and it just saves you having to hold them and try and wash them. And it keeps her, she's looking at me, it keeps her falling out, and it's a good investment. It's not even really an investment, but it's definitely good to have. Next thing I have is a bath thermometer. We have one from Tommy Tippy. I think it was like £6, and it's like a little star. And you put it in the bath and it flashes if it gets too hot. I think the optimum temperature for babies is 34 to 38 degrees. And so if it goes above, it flashes. So that's great. We don't use it anymore because you get used to what temperature should be. But obviously as a first time mom with a newborn, you're whittling about everything. So it definitely helps, that does. Next I have a sleeping bag. Again, what I was saying about the routine with the white noise machine, she's always had her white noise machine on and she's in a sleeping bag. And I think babies definitely need a good routine. And it just keeps them warm. Obviously, she doesn't have a quilt because she's only 9 months old. She won't have one for a while. They're a lot safer than quilts and blankets. Obviously, you can use those blankets, like the crochet ones, the safety ones, where if it goes over their face, like, they can breathe, but they're not recommended. So I definitely say get a sleeping bag, and you can get different togs. So you get 0.2, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, I think. You get all of those for like summer and winter sort of time. So in winter she'll go in like a 2.5. There's a lot of advice on like NHS as to what clothes they should wear in sleeping bags. So I definitely look at that because that helps you. Obviously, she was born in May and it was a very hot May. Like we had a really hot sort of like April and May sort of time. So I was always worried she was going to overheat but if you look on like NHS, they give you lots of advice on like vest, nappy, baby grow, that sort of thing. Next thing, I think this is probably, if I had to choose one thing, I'd definitely say this. Isofix base for your car seat. This was an absolute, like, I can't recommend it enough. I think it's something ridiculous, like 80% of car seats aren't fitted correctly, like in a car, which is so scary. But they are complicated. Baby seats are very complicated. So we have an Isofix, and it's basically just a base. You put the car seat on top and it just like clips in. That's it. You don't have to do the seat belt around the car seat or anything. And it has the lights on it change from red to green when it's safe. So like, you know your baby's safe, and then all you have to do is make sure your baby's strapped in correctly in the actual car seat. Then the Isofix like just makes it completely safe, which is very reassuring when you've got a baby. Next thing is a nappy bag. I think I've had 3 nappy bags now. So the first one I had was a Cath Kidston, just like over the shoulder sort of bag. And then I had a really big one when she got a lot older and I started carrying like her food and stuff. I've had 3 Cath Kidston ones. I definitely recommend Cath Kidston. I think they're really good quality, and they always come with like a changing mat and a bottle insulator and stuff. But my favourite one is the backpack. I definitely recommend a backpack over anything else, because when you're trying to carry a million things, obviously it's going to slip off your shoulder, and the backpack just stays on great. So I'd recommend a backpack. Next thing is a baby carrier. We had the, I don't know how you say this, Baby Born, Baby Jaune, something like, I don't know, I think I said that wrong. But we had that one, and it's a black one, and it can go on your chest, they can face outwards, they can go on your back. Really good carrier. It's only up to 1 year, so we're going to have to get a new one when she's about a year old, but you can get ones that sort of go on for longer or less time or whatever. I definitely recommend the ones that have like the clips and everything, not like so much the sling. That's just my opinion, but it was very like supportive, like it's good on your shoulders and your back. And it's great for going on walks, like if you want to go anywhere muddy or whatever, you don't want to take the pram. Yeah, you can take your carrier. Oh, I haven't put pram on my list, but I definitely say pram. You don't need an expensive one. We've got an eye candy one, which is great. It converts into everything. I think it lasts her up to like 4 years, so that's great. Next thing, I only have 2 more things. So the next thing is a Calpol plug. I think these are, I think they're 3 months plus, but it will say on the box. So you just plug it in, and it's sort of, what's it called? It's like, it's got like a vapor rub sort of, it goes into the air. So if ever she's got like a bit of a sniffle, we put that on at night, and through the night it soothes her. She can breathe properly and whatever. Yeah, I think it was, how much was it? I think it was about £5. Then you buy the refills. The refills are actually really expensive. I think you got like 5 for £6, or was it 3 for £6? But anyway, and they only last a couple of nights, so I'd maybe look at getting a better one, but still I'd say like some sort of vapor rub plug, because obviously they can't have a lot of medication till they're about 6 months. But I think Calpol plugs are 3 months plus, so they're great. Last thing I have is a Nappy Caddy. These are amazing. We had one when she was a newborn. We had one downstairs in the living room, and then upstairs in our room as well. So you just you put like nappies and what, it's got like a sort of box, and it's got all sections in, and you put your wipes in and your nappies and spare clothes, and it's just great to have everything like in one place. I think we got ours from Amazon. They were like £8 each maybe. They weren't very expensive, but they're just so much easier than like having to rummage through everything. So that's everything from my must-haves, and then I have a list of sort of like unnecessary things. So these are things that I don't think helped me, or things that I didn't have that I had like no desire to have. So the first thing is scratch mitts. She never wore scratch mitts, and she never needed to. She never really scratched her face. So just bite her nails, that's it. You don't need to buy scratch mitts. Personally, I don't think. Yeah, we just used to bite her nails, and I've also got baby clippers and scissors. I don't think they're necessary either. I always found it a lot easier and safer for me to bite them yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Next thing I have, I'm sorry, I'm saying so much, that's really annoying, I can't help it. The next thing I have is muslins or muslin cloths. We never use them. A lot of people use them to sort of like throw over their shoulder when they're burping, or just to like wipe up sick or whatever, but we never used it. We just used bibs and wipes basically. We got loads, like we have absolutely loads, and I bought like some like cute ones and whatever, but we just never use them. Next thing is a bottle warmer. We did have this, so we have the Tommy Tipper bottle warmer, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like, it's good, like it works, but it's just as easy to go and boil the kettle and warm your bottle up. Like, I don't think it was necessary. We used it because someone bought us one and gave it to us, but I probably won't use it for next baby, and I definitely wouldn't go out and buy one. Basically, all it does is you put a bit of water in the bottom and it just heats up your bottle, that's it. But I think it's easier to just boil a kettle, to be honest. Next thing I have is a changing table. So, you know, you can get like the special changing tables from mums and papas and whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with one, to be honest. And I've also got a changing mat. I don't think you necessarily need a changing mat. We did have one. We had like the padded ones. But to be honest, when they're newborns, you can change them obviously safely on the sofa and the bed. Then when they get a bit older, like they get more resilient. Like Avery, I never use a changing mat because she doesn't need one. Like, she's not delicate. The only reason I'd say to get a changing mat is to put in your nappy bag. So if you're going anywhere in public, obviously you don't want your baby like on the table or whatever. So yeah, I'd recommend getting like one for your nappy bag. Like, you can get the little like thin fold up ones, but other than that, I wouldn't go out of your way to go and get one. They're only a couple of pounds, so they're not expensive, but I just don't think they're completely necessary. Next thing I have is a wipe warmer. I just really don't see the hype. Like, if you use a wipe warmer, they dry your wipes out and your baby gets used to warm wipes, which is never like a great thing because you're not going to take your wipe warmer out everywhere. Yeah, I just don't really think they're necessary. I think my cousin had a baby and I think she used to put the wipes on the radiator for a couple of seconds before she changed the baby's bum, which you could do, but I don't see the point in going out and buying a wipe warmer. We never used it. Some people swear by it. It's just your preference, obviously. Next thing I have, baby coats. They're just, you know, like the really thick, big padded baby coats. You don't need them. We used thin cardigans because your baby can't go in them in the car seat anyway because they're obviously really unsafe. So they're not going to be in it for that. And if it's cold enough for them to wear a coat, they should really be wearing a pram suit anyway. So I'd probably just get a pram suit instead. A pram suit's basically the one that like covers the whole body. So we just use pram suits and like sort of thin cardigans. So cardigans thin enough for them to go in the car seat in. So that was that. Swaddle blankets. I did buy some because I thought she would like them. Like, I got some really cute ones. But I definitely wouldn't say go out and buy a really nice expensive swaddle blanket because your babe might not like being swaddled. Avery hated being swaddled. She's playing with a doll's ass next to me. So maybe get like a cheap one to start with, and then if your baby really likes it, like get a good quality one. But I'd recommend just maybe getting like, you can get from Sainsbury's and everything, you can get them anywhere, but personally I don't think they need them. We always just use sleeping bags. They do look so cute when they're swaddled though. They look like little baby burritos. Next thing, baby shoes. You don't need baby shoes. We never use them. If your baby's getting... The only reason I think you might need baby shoes is to keep your baby's feet warm, say if they're like a November baby or whatever. But at that stage, you could just like put slippers on. Like, we've got some really nice slippers for Avery. Or you put like lots of socks on, obviously. But baby shoes, I just don't think they're necessary. And as a baby, I don't think I'd want my feet like scrunched into like little baby Converse. Yeah, she had loads of shoes, and before she was born I was like, oh yeah. She's playing with a doll's ass. Oh my gosh, come here. Here she is. Who's that? Who is that? Before she was born, she got gifted like loads of baby shoes. And I was like, oh yeah, they're so cute. Like, I'll use them. But I just never did. And I just didn't think they were necessary. Is that you? Yeah, just got a few more things. A baby sling, I think that's what they're called. So the ones where they're sort of like fabric, like wraparounds. One, I think they look really complicated. And two, they can be so expensive, like just for a sling. And I don't think, no, you can use them for a long time actually. Yeah, because you can do like, wear them on your back. But personally, I didn't need one and I didn't want one. They're great for if you have, obviously a lot of people have babies that don't want to be put down. Say, mama. Yeah, so if you've got a baby that doesn't want to be put down, that wants to be carried everywhere, obviously that's great. But if you don't, I'd just get a regular baby carrier. Next thing I have is a baby walker. So you know the ones where your baby sort of stands and they walk, if that makes sense. That's got all like the sort of activity bits around. We don't have one, and I don't have any desire to get one because I think the main reason people use them is to like help their baby walk. But they're actually, if you look on like NHS and everything, they sort of do the opposite. And they're pretty bad for like development. I don't want to sound judgy, like this is just my opinion. But because your baby's obviously resting all their weight on their bum and their legs are dangling, like it's not good for their hips. So that's why we don't have one. Obviously, if you need, people use them also to sort of keep their baby like contained whilst they're going and doing something. But we just put her in a high chair instead, because if your baby's old enough to go in a walker, they're probably old enough to go in a high chair. So that's what we use instead. And then the next thing I have, changing that, I've already said that, a rocking chair. I did really want one before we had Avery. And then we didn't get one. I thought I'd wait like a month or so to see if I need one, and I just didn't have any desire to get one. And they can be so expensive as well. Like the rocking chairs from Mums and Papas, I think if you get like the footstool as well, they're like £800, which is so expensive. You can get them on Marketplace really cheap. So if you do want one, I'd recommend doing that. But we just sort of, so I think they're used to like sort of get your baby to sleep. But we always just like lay on our bed or sit on a normal chair, sit on the floor, whatever. So we didn't personally use one of those. Wipe warmer, I think I've put that twice. Oh, and shoes I've put twice, so that was everything. I think the only thing I've thought of since I was filming is I'd recommend getting a high chair. We've got one from Mums and Papas, and it came with, on the tray, it's got the sort of tray with like sections, which is great for baby-led weaning. So that's one we've got. But the one that is also really good is from IKEA, and it's about £15, like it's so cheap. But she has that at one of her grandparents' house, and it's actually a really good high chair, and you can get really cute like accessories to go on it. So that's what I'd recommend. I'd recommend one with sections on their tray, or just like the standard IKEA one, like if you don't want to pay for Mums and Papas one. Someone bought us our Mums and Papas high chair, but if we were buying it for ourselves, I think we'll have probably got the IKEA one because they're actually really good. But yeah, that's it. That's my huge list of baby must-haves. I hope I didn't sound like judgy or anything in the video. That wasn't my intention, sorry. It was just to sort of give an idea of what I used and what I'd recommend and what I don't think people like need as such. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.